Hello,
What's up?
gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Cavalry Crew.
Tales from the Crypt, boys and girls.
I hope there's no boys or girls watching this. That
Nobody
is very inappropriate for them to be
Nobody
watching.
really remembers Tales from the Crypt, except for our generation.
Yeah. Yep.
They still
did-
play it on TV.
Well, they did. I think they made like
Where?
a
I don't
modern
see it.
remake of it, didn't they, for a little bit?
I
But the
don't know.
books is where it was at. That and what was the other? Goosebumps.
I couldn't read when I was that age.
See, we used to get the Scholastic book, Scholastic fucking what was that, a van or truck?
The book club, yeah.
they used to come
Yeah,
up
but
with-
I didn't want to say books because it wasn't just books. They had all
No,
sorts
they
of
had-
stuff on
They
there.
had like games and puzzles, and
Yeah.
posters.
Yeah.
They had all types of stuff.
That's
They
when
don't
you
do
had
that
the,
no more.
the goosebumps, the goosebumps, the goosebumps,
The
goosebumps.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, man. I remember Goosebumps. I never read any of them. Unfortunately, I come from a family that didn't really push reading, which I wish that I did because I wouldn't be sitting here nowadays with ADD when I'm trying to read something. But I wish back in the day I did read a lot of books because I'd probably be more educated.
My mom fought tooth and nail to get me to get through a book, dude.
Yeah. But also, so you're from a generation though that still had cell phones. You're at those ages. I didn't.
I had cell phones at like middle school, yeah.
I
was,
went all the way up through high school with no cell phone.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, we barely had a computer. I don't remember having a computer until sophomore or junior year. A personal
the
computer
same.
at home. Yeah.
Bro, that's funny you brought that up because we talked about that at work today. I was like, you guys don't understand. Like, even though I had a phone when I was in middle school, this thing didn't have text. It was literally just contacts and call. That was it.
Yep.
You
Then
can
when you
store
wanted
a
to text,
number
it was like
and you could call it.
You
There was no text.
The text. It
But
might as well have been Morse code at that point. Click, click,
Right.
click, click,
it
click.
wasn't there. But what I was telling them is because somebody was brought up, well, their family member was super like intrigued by CD players, like when CDs came out.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what's crazy is the span it took to, hey, we can get on the internet. You can't do nothing, but you can get on there.
Mhm.
To we're pirating videos, music,
Napster, baby.
movies. Like that happened, that gap happened so fucking fast. Like I didn't really realize until we started talking about it today. I go, that's like not even 10 years.
I was just talking to somebody about that too. We were talking about before AT&T was like, mobile. I don't know if you guys remember. Jason may remember. Remember Singular, the cell phone company? So I had Singular before they got bought out by AT&T. So I've had the same phone number since then. I think I've had the same phone number since 2003 or 4. But
I could tell you the progression of my cell phones. It went from GTE to Altel, and then from Altel to Verizon.
Yep.
And I kept the same phone number. And then I did Nextel. You guys remember Nextel?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nextel.
And then Nextel got bought out by Sprint.
Mhm.
And then Sprint got bought out by T-Mobile. So that's pretty much I didn't move from Verizon to Nextel until you were able to port your phone numbers over.
Yep.
Back in the day, you weren't able to port your phone numbers, and that was a pain in the ass.
We were talking about too. Remember, you had free weekends and during the week,
weekends.
yeah, free calls and texts on weekends. But it was either after 5 or 6 o'clock, calls and texts for free. So everybody would do their business in the evening with their cell phones because it was free minutes.
And then remember when
you'd stay up hella late at night because it was free at like after 10 o'clock or something.
Yep.
And I don't know, you probably don't remember, Hoy, but Stefan, you remember when long distance charges were so expensive and your parents bitched you out when you went to make a long distance phone call, right?
Well, yeah, because it used to be like 50 cents to $1 a minute for those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, long distance wasn't out of the country back then.
Bye, Zach.
Long distance was like in multiple states away.
No, long distance could just be
no.
down in another county.
on the other side of the county, or even outside of your county.
Oof.
Yeah.
For us. So I live an hour away from my dad. So when I would call down to our dad's house, it would be long distance. So we would have to call him after certain hours on the week. So you didn't get those long distance fees.
It was a certain distance, and basically like calling to another county was long distance. But I also remember when you didn't have to dial your area code first.
Nope, we didn't either, because your state, because at the time the state only had one area code, so you just pop, hit your number in. That was the end of it.
Yep.
Now I think we have.
Damn, y'all are some fucking old fucks.
3 for West Virginia. How many area codes?
But it's because they ran out of numbers in those area codes. So then what they were doing was adding area codes on top of area codes. So then you had to start dialing the area code.
So we only have 2 area codes for a state. I thought we were supposed to get a third one.
Man, you guys are still behind the times. 2 area codes.
Tacoma probably has 5 just for Tacoma.
Oh yeah, don't talk about Tacoma, man.
But what's interesting is area codes now.
Tacoma
area
has a
codes,
bigger population than your whole state, but
area codes now are like, muscle memory. Everyone's. It's
well, that's something that we were talking about too, because like I said, your phones before then they didn't do shit. I go, that's back when we actually had to memorize everybody's number. Like if you're like, hey, who knows Kev's number, and someone's like, oh yeah, it's blah 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 blah, and you're like, thinking.
And to give you an idea. Growing up with landlines, I could still tell you all of my families, including our personal landline when I was growing up. I could still ring off those numbers, but all of my family's cell phone numbers right now, I couldn't tell you what their cell phone numbers are.
God.
Yeah.
I know all the landline numbers too.
The only landline numbers I know now are my neighbors on the hill, my neighbor across the street, and my mom and dad's. But my mom and dad just
still have landlines in West Virginia.
Yeah, laughing about it too. I go, because obviously beforehand you had to either really know landmarks or streets.
Oh yeah,
you had an atlas map.
You remember getting the big atlas book?
Map. Yep. You had to fold it out and go, where the fuck am I? Okay, yeah, somewhere around here. And I go, but when the first Garmin came out, my mom got me one, and I go, you guys don't realize how shitty this was, because you couldn't charge and operate at the same time. And your battery would only last about an hour, hour and a half tops, if you're lucky. So you'd be driving and you're like, every time you see 100-something miles, you're like, okay, turn it off, throw the charger on from the cigarette charger. Hope you remember to turn it back on before you hit your exit.
Well, it's like, I think I used to
buy printing off 30 pages off of fucking
MapQuest.
Yeah,
and then try to scratch off each line when you're getting through.
Yeah, but
so my grandparents would go back and forth every year to Arizona during the wintertime. They were snowbirds.
Yeah.
So they started that in like the early 90s, like 91, 92, and they did it all the way through the early 2000s. And my grandfather would take the dashboard GPS. He would have it up on the dash, Garmin, and it would suction cup to the dash.
Yep.
And during those years, though, it was so much new construction going on that Garmin and the system wasn't updating.
Couldn't keep up.
And he didn't have a computer to like plug it into a computer at that time to update it. So like when I would go visit him in Arizona, we'd be driving around and it would just be constantly recalculating because he knew where he was going, but for some reason he was one of those types that just had it turned on, almost like background noise, even though he already knew where he was going. But with all the new construction constantly going on in the Phoenix area, like it was never true to where to what was actually what you were actually seeing on the road for off ramps, on ramps, all that stuff.
No, because I remember even just a little before the Garmin's came out.
Yeah,
you had the fucking dial-up internet.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
To try to get the software or even look it up.
Oh,
waiting 10 minutes for it to connect.
Remember you the AT&T dial-up cards? We'll give you 2 free hours for just doing this survey. Hell yeah.
Well, how many times did you get in the mail every week a Net Zero disc or a AOL disc? Trying to sign up to their internet.
That's what I meant. AOL, not AT&T. AOL. There we go. That's what I meant.
I
You guys
remember when
remember-
AOL chat came out.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
it's-
that was the Wild West. Man.
That
It
was
was.
a wild event, man.
Let's
Could you
talk about
imagine if
pedophiles.
could you imagine today the shit that was talked about in those chat rooms were brought forth?
Hey, that
Holy
was the
fuck.
heyday of Chris Hansen and Catch a Predator on Dateline.
Right, I was
Well,
about to say that's like the beginning of like
Yeah.
all
That,
that.
but you could also get on there and be like, "Hey, has anybody got any meth? Yeah, man, I'll meet you over here." Okay.
Before we get any further into the conversations, I did want to kind of give you all the background of what we're doing today. So, everybody, welcome to the show. If I didn't do an intro, we've got Zach, Stefan, Steven tonight, and we're going to kind of talk about just a casual conversation about the Chicago killing fields. If you haven't heard about those, maybe touch on the Portland protests. There was Portland protests again. You know, the same old shit. Blah 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 blah. And then I've got a surprise for you all tonight. I'm going to be doing my very first alcoholic drink in a year.
He did a colon
Yay.
cleanse.
And
Colon
Took
cleanse.
him the whole year to get it cleansed.
the reason it's been a year is just basically, so I'm a social drinker and I just kind of really haven't been drinking. I don't drink very much, but I feel like maybe it's time to maybe sit down and have a drink. So I figured,
What are you gonna
Join
drink?
The dark side, man. Drink on your
I am
own in the
drinking-
dark room.
I'm drinking a Sun Cruiser. It is lemonade vodka.
Summer Shandy.
I wasn't gonna.
Understand.
I didn't make it to the store. This was already in my fridge. I didn't make it to the store to get anything like Summer Shandy. I would have gotten that or a Blue Moon. But lately, when you don't drink for a year, beer really sits heavy in your gut. So
Speaking of Summer Shandy, so Jason and I had lunch yesterday. We met up and we were talking about. I could not pronounce.
oh my god.
Summer Shandy.
Ask him to pronounce Leinenkugel.
Google. So I just couldn't get it out yesterday.
Leinenkugel. It's
And
not
Which one?
Leinenkugel.
I was like Langenfelter, Leinenfelker. I was like, God damn it! He finally got it out. I was like, yeah. I just couldn't get it out. I don't know why. It was like a good 3 minutes of just like Jason's
Lincoln
like, "What are you
Hooper
fucking-"
and
Yeah, he was like, "What are you fucking talking about?" I was like, "The Summer Shandy." He was like, "Oh yeah," but yeah, I
Summer
could not
Shandy.
get it out yesterday.
That's how Sean Connery would say it. Summer Shandy.
Summer
Summer
Shandy.
Shandy.
Okay,
Summer
so
Shandy.
Hey, what's up, nerd?
so this is kind of refreshing.
Blasted.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, wanted to touch one last thing, and this was just a conversation we were having when we opened the
Who
show
are you
about
touching last? Is it me?
old technology. You guys remember zip disks and how quick
Yeah.
those came in and left?
Oh, those. It's because they're fragile.
When I was in college, working on like, so we went real fast from the
Basically,
the
getting
3.5
on the internet and having a 30-minute for a single picture to download.
Yeah, so we went from the 3.5-inch disc to the zip discs, and then you had to carry around that zip drive all the time to plug into
Yep.
your computer because it was a fast upload or a fast download. But that didn't last very long.
No, thank God thumb drives came out.
And then thumb drives came out, and then everyone was carrying around thumb drives. You remember that they used to put them on their keys, their car keys,
keychains.
like
They
fobs?
still do.
Oh my god!
They still like
what?
all my vendors. They'll give us like I don't know why they give us USBs. It's like it's a weird gift, but it's like a bottle opener or. A
Oh well,
flashlight.
yeah. So
Something
if you
that
go to
goes
trade
to your
shows,
keychain.
if you go to trade shows, you'll still see people giving out key fobs or
Keychain.
USBs.
thumb drives. Yeah,
No.
thumb drives.
Yeah,
When really,
I said USB.
I don't have a computer here that takes a thumb drive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at those.
Oh yeah, there
See,
you go. We all switcheroo.
I
got
don't
a whole
have
drawer full of them.
I don't have a computer here that takes a thumb drive.
I do too. I got a 10-pack of some fucking pony ones. Me and Bowen
Well-
went through this of me trying to download Linux.
And then about the years when we were in the military, the whole internet transitioned from LimeWire, getting away from LimeWire and all that, and then transitioning to cloud services and cloud storage.
Basically, security.
Yeah.
Security?
Because
Security.
Because I remember about 2008, 2009, 2010, man, I had everything on LimeWire. I was downloading shit at left and right.
I was
Same.
burning up computers left and right, man.
Had to get that Iraq porn all saved onto a thumb drive.
That's the wrong
Yeah.
Star Wars, Mom. It's the wrong one, I swear.
And then when the FBI started
digging into it. It went straight afterwards.
Yeah.
Straight to jail.
No, they didn't come after me because I wasn't downloading enough. But if you saw some of the cases of how much gigabytes and all that people actually downloaded through LimeWire, and what was the other real good famous download service?
Napster.
Yeah, Napster.
Yeah.
They seem to go after Napster more than they did LimeWire. Because in the news, you'd always see something about the FBI arresting someone that had downloaded so many things on Napster.
Man.
But I was primarily LimeWire.
You know, you say that, like, if you look at the gigs that they were downloading back then, I go, but if you look at, like, pedo cases today, it'll be, like, not even fucking close, dude. Yeah. You're talking terabytes.
Yeah, terabytes.
Terabytes. And, like, if you look at it, you'll see, like, a victim. It'll be, like, 20-something counts. But you look at each count, and each count's, like, 200 plus of images.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, holy shit. And so you times that by 26 times. Mm-hmm. What the fuck, dude?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, that's one thing we were talking about at work. Like, technology was a poison, man. I mean, I get it. It makes certain things real easy in life, but fuck, man.
I've always had this idea, and I'll put it out there. I don't care if someone steals it and gives it to a production company or whatever, but at least I'll have the recording here that it was my idea. I have this idea for a reality show and called The Retro House, where it's all landline, no cell phones, no internet. It's VHS. It's cable box internet. You know, nothing connected.
No, you should.
And they have to go through challenges.
10 dial TV.
And they have to go through challenges and all that. You know, it starts with like 10 people or whatever else like that, and people get people leave the show when they can't handle it or whatever, and stuff like that. And they have to go like driving challenges where there's no GPS. The vehicle is an old dial radio vehicle, stuff like that. Maybe even do like not that far, but just like dialing in radio stations, because who the hell listens to terrestrial radio anymore? But like, and then like give them a challenge of driving a stick shift, stuff like that. But I've always had this idea of that show. The only problem is where the fuck do you find a place like that?
And I'll give you one thing, like on the West Coast, we're weird as fuck, but one thing that a lot of the younger generation constantly keeps alive is old shit out here.
Yeah.
Whether it's the fashion, the music, the cars, like people were pretty into being like 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Well,
that's because they're all hippies out there. But
yeah. But I think your challenge, you'd be surprised like how people would get it.
Well, no, it's got to be people that are, like influencers and 100% connected. Like,
oh, you're talking about like LA.
Well, no, I want people who have never experienced that.
Yeah, like, so go to people in LA.
No, just people under the age of 30. But I've always had an idea for a show like that, and I'd love to pitch it and try to do something with it, but I don't know.
We should do it at Bowen's house.
Even where to start.
We should build it at Bowen's, on Bowen's land. Because that's about as rural as you can get.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't have to be rural. It just has to be like
rural. You got to do the whole thing.
No, it just has to be like find the Brady Bunch house somewhere, and that's it. A house that still has landline.
Throw some old boomer grandpa in there that yells at everybody.
No.
Yeah, it'll be, you know how you go into a scare house and there's someone there to scare you? There'll be an old dude in there just telling you you're fucking everything up. You're stupid. You're wrong. Like, we'll give you the real old school theme right here.
So haunted houses now in the future are just going to be like boomer houses.
Reality checks.
Yeah.
The internet doesn't work.
Failure.
There's no Wi-Fi.
You're a fucking failure.
There's no indoor plumbing.
I tell my kids they died.
You have to make your own food. No door.
Yeah, right. There's no microwave.
Oh yeah, make them churn butter and have hella cameras on them so they're embarrassed.
No, not that.
Yay.
far back.
Yay!
So I don't know if you guys saw, but over the Labor Day weekend, there were 54 shootings in Chicago.
Whoa, man, you're being racist.
54 shootings in Chicago, 0 shootings in Washington, D.C. And this is just the everyday life now in quote unquote Trump's militarized America.
Wasn't Chicago the one that was graduating kids who couldn't read?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't there
They
like
had
a
a-
valedictorian
Yes. Then she turned around and sued the state.
because she couldn't even read or do math or some shit?
Yes.
It's the future of the Midwest.
Oh,
So
go ahead.
the one thing that I want to know though is okay, they can have illegal weapons and all that other stuff in Chicago and have 54 shootings and all this crime on a holiday weekend. But yet, if I was law-abiding citizen, concealed carry, and trying to protect myself, I would be in the wrong.
Straight to jail.
Right.
Straight to jail.
Do not pass
Yeah.
go. Do not collect $200.
That's why you need to get you a minority friend that carries and let him do the shooting.
Okay, so hire security.
Get Wynn to hang out with you.
Just go to the south side and say, "Hey, I need someone to cover my back."
Hoyt, you're a minority.
Yeah, but I'm the furthest away from you guys.
But
I'm gonna hop on my bike. I'll get to you in like 3 days, Wise. Don't worry. I'll come save you.
So certain groups in America are obviously calling it racist and militarizing the streets of Washington, D.C. with the National Guard. People in Washington, D.C. has said it's a tremendous change for the crime. They've cleaned the streets up. People aren't like mugged, beaten, raped on a daily basis in Washington, D.C. And Trump has joked about doing this in Chicago. The governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago both say that Trump is wrong. They're going to fight it. He has no say in the what to do with the National Guard. And I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you think? Should he go in there and do a massive sweep of Chicago to clean the streets and make them safer?
So I'm glad. So I haven't been following a lot, but I have.
Wait, I haven't been following a lot, but
No, I haven't been following the Chicago part a lot, but the DC part I have. I've been watching the interviews, and they went to some. God bless the news for once. They went to some lower class neighborhoods, some minority neighborhoods, and they're interviewing people. What do you think about it now? And of course, there were people that were, oh, well, they need to get the fuck out of here, blah, 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 blah. But a large majority of them were, now since they're seeing their neighborhoods get cleaned up, because they're not just policing, they're cleaning up, picking up trash, fixing things and stuff like that. But anyways, one of the interviews was, this guy, a black community was, hey, we were against it. And now he was like, I think it was needed. And the way he worded it was, we got so used to a certain amount of crime. We just let it. I don't know if you saw that one. He was like, we just kind of
they're desensitized to it.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, we expected a certain level of crime. And he was like, and we shouldn't have let it have gotten to that point.
Well, and the mayor of Washington, D.C., she was totally dead set against it to start, but now she has given the police and everyone else in the city of Washington, D.C. full cooperation with the federal government. And
Yeah.
where else in the world, and this was one of Trump's arguments, was where else in the world is the country's capital, maybe Paris, such a disgusting, crime-ridden area, city?
And it shouldn't be. That should be, I mean, every place you should have reasonable safety. However, the capital of our nation should set the standards for the nation. It should be
For the rest of the cities in America.
Absolutely.
Well,
it
that's
should
my
be
whole
one of the
point.
safest, cleanest,
Mhm.
and economically, you can't really throw that in there. But if you could, it should set the standard for all the other major cities in the nation.
Well, that's all I think what Trump did on his side of it. He's just showing you, like, well, this is what everyone is capable of doing. Look how fast we did it. Chicago's problem, though, isn't so much like the DC, though. They're not picking up like as much. Like the shootings in Chicago are more so like young teens.
Mhm. Well,
Like,
yeah.
and you're talking about in the last couple of years, ever since COVID, this is the same group of kids that were going out doing mobs, going out attacking people, shooting
Well, and that's
people.
the point.
But
they
you
need to
had a
crack
mayor
down
the
on
whole
the
time.
whole culture of it.
Well, the whole time you're saying they should, but you're talking last 4 or 5 years, you hear the same story. Oh, they're just kids. Like, leave them alone. Like, there's no repercussions that are being brought in, and if you haven't done it in this amount of time, it's not going to change. So,
what did AOC? What did AOC say about the smash and grab people? They're just hungry, trying to get food. When they were smashing and grabbing like Coach
like shoes, TVs, video games,
TVs, games,
jewelry.
TV.
Right? It's not food.
Well, for a while there, you go up Michigan Avenue, which used to be one of the coolest streets in Chicago, and everything was boarded up. You couldn't go into those stores or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like now, but I imagine that it isn't any better when you've got 54 shootings. And if you really look, the FBI actually put out a crime map for the weekend of Labor Day weekend in Chicago, and there was a hell of a lot. I mean, it was covered in red dots. So there's obviously a lot more than just 54 shootings going on in the crime in Chicago. But the way I look at it is, I mean, why live in a city like that? We're America. We should be safe in our cities. We should be safe in our towns, our villages, our out in the country, the rural areas. I should not have to worry about going into a city to do some shopping or whatever else, or take family in to go to a ball game or something like that, and have to basically think, what are my chances of being mugged, raped, murdered, whatever else?
You got to think too, like the how many people are actually in the city that want to be in the city? Probably, I guarantee there's probably at least half of them that don't want to be there, but they're forced to be there because of the job is barely getting them by, or whatever the means or necessarily it is, or maybe you're hanging on hoping that one day it'll go back to its former glory. But
no, I mean,
I
Chicago
don't think
it costs a lot to live in Chicago, and there's a lot of people that live in Chicago. I think a lot of them
that's
are
like Seattle.
The they thems that think that everything's just peachy keen. But they don't care, because they're the ones that are desensitized to it, because they're so used to their peers acting like that. But look, you could do it in every single city: Denver, Philadelphia, Houston, Atlanta, Phoenix, Los Angeles. Every single major city, which is typically ran by a Democrat, has a crime problem.
Well, I'll say, like, doing that road trip recently, a lot of obviously like Idaho and Montana, they were nice. Wyoming was nice, but like I've never like known Kansas City to be like the greatest city to go hang out and visit. Right? I've always known it for a crime or whatever, but I'm also a third party way outside that's getting outside news. I'm not living there knowing what's going on. But
well, I mean,
get there
back in the day, Kansas City was more of a mob town than it was anything else, because the Kansas City mob ran Vegas.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But to be there, and to see it like comparable to Seattle, right?
Mhm.
It's like you're talking about a bigger city. Well, I think I'm pretty sure it is bigger than Seattle. Seattle's not that big. The amount of like there was a roadside clinic. I don't know if you guys get those, like the vans, trucks, medical trucks. They go out and help the homeless, give them shots and medical assistance, whatever. We get them all the time, we're fucking homeless ridden out here. So there'll be a van that gets out there and there'll be a line of people, tent city, trying to get whatever from this truck. I seen it out there and there was maybe 3 people in that line.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is it? You're going around and you see like one homeless guy in 3 blocks. You're like, oh, this is what you guys think is homeless?
Well, in the Midwest, it's tough because they all go to the warmer climates.
Right.
We don't see a lot of homeless here because of the cold, the winter.
Is that what it
we
is?
We know they're there.
Is that what?
Well, no, we know the homeless
pushing all the homeless out.
Well, we know the homeless are there, but a lot of them are in community homes around here and things like that, just because of the temperatures.
Yeah. Generally, they're going to go to warmer places because they can't survive the winter.
Right.
Yeah, but regardless, you're talking about a city with probably a less budget than Seattle has, being operated 10 times better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to go out and see it happening, it just makes you more pissed off at what the fuck is going on. But I think overall with the Chicago thing is because across the country, more people are going with Trump's plan. You're seeing more states going along. Florida's banning all mandated vaccines, and you're seeing the whole flip around going. So eventually there'll just be those few handful of states again that just look crazy.
Right. But so I don't know. I mean, granted, whether you like Trump or not, I think his version of cleaning up the cities is a good idea. It's the only way it's going to get done fast and it's going to get done right. Because it doesn't then have to sit there and go through city councils, all the programs, and then by the time it's done and over with, there's no money because they basically moved the money elsewhere, and there's still crime. So I think I'm for a program like that. I think it works, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens on the next level when he puts it in place in the next city.
I think there's a lot more happening than what's being acknowledged to the public, because like out here we were fighting it. Bunny was sending letters to us and Ferguson's pretty much like, oh, fuck you, we're making a stand and blah blah blah. But we've been slowly noticing things like DEI positions getting laid off.
That's because the funding has been drying up.
The full opening deals, like bathroom signs being pulled down. And sure, you could blame it on us being broke or a deficit, but there's specific things like flags getting taken down, signs getting taken down. Like, I think there's deals happening. They're just not letting the people know, like, hey, we kind of are working with them now,
Well, but that's not what we're here. I mean, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the crime in the cities. And rolling out the National Guard to fix the crime in the cities. So that's the next step in Chicago, because it worked in DC. Trump has already been talking about Chicago. He's talking possibly about Portland. And speaking of Portland had another couple nights of protests against ICE and protests against the federal government coming in and showing their hand. So
that's my point, though. If these other cities can do it without it, the only thing that's happening is nobody's taking care of it. That's the problem.
It's not the cities doing it. It's the federal government coming in with the National Guard and deploying the National Guard.
Right. But they don't need the National Guard, is my point. The city could clean it up in a fucking 3-day sweep if they wanted to.
The cities aren't, but they don't want to. They don't want to. The mayors of those cities have instructed their police to not cooperate.
Right. So you send National Guard in, they clean it up until they have to leave, and then it goes right back to it.
But the National Guard hasn't left Washington. They're in place.
No. For how
I don't know
long?
how long in place in Washington, D.C., but they're there.
And then how far into this does it
I
become
could tell you
un-American?
I could tell you it's at least 6 months for now.
What'd you say, Stephen?
I said, at what point does it become like it's not an American freedom anymore?
What do you mean?
For example, like there was a topic about do you
Crime's not
ban
a freedom.
trans from guns? No, it's not. But it's if you go and do a certain thing and you mandate it, enforce it, right? That's pretty much just being a dictator at that point.
But do
if
you
the
want safe
people
cities?
themselves aren't going to do it, it's
Do
never
you
going
want
to get
safe
fixed.
cities and protecting your American citizens, or do you want crime and the mayors of those cities not doing anything?
No, dude, I totally agree with you. But how far would that actually go?
Well,
Hey,
that's
we've
what
sent
the
National Guard to
Democrats-
take care of crime. Hey, now we're going to have people come and force what you should have been doing on you, but you haven't been, so we're going to force it on you. You know, that's the only worry I'd have with that. If you let it happen too much, it's kind of like all the gun stuff. Like, sure, if you forced it to happen, you're no longer running under a constitution. You're being a dictator. You're forcing it on somebody. You know what I mean?
No.
If you have a National Guard come in basically like a martial law and put everything into focus.
But it's not martial law. They're just there protecting the citizens and the taxpayers.
Yeah, but you're not thinking of it as the city it is. It's not going to be them going in just after criminals. They're going to be fighting the whole city population that voted for everything to be the way it is.
No, they're not.
They're not.
They're leaving everything else alone. Their only concern is
you think that they're not going to sit there and throw some massive protests.
They have, and they go about their business, and they don't. You know, hey, they turn their cheek and keep on walking.
Oh. I don't know. I think it's a short-term gain, but you're not fixing the problem.
No, sure, it may be a short-term game. However, if this benefits the way it should, then it shouldn't be a problem to maintain long-term, because National Guard will leave. Majority of the criminals, or a large portion of the criminals, are now in jail. And it also shows, hey, you start fucking up again, we'll just bring him back.
Right.
So, you know, that's
they're trying to show the citizens of those cities that what the mayor and the police should have been doing all along. And the prosecutors in those cities. Because a lot of those cities have had just out on bail bullshit. So they just get out for, scot-free, and they're never prosecuted. So what the Trump administration is trying to show people is, hey, this is exactly what your city should be like, and it's what it could be like with a proper administration in play. And basically, it's up to the voters now. Do they still want that mayor in that city? Or was Trump right? And it's like, you know what? If we had an actual competent administration running the city, we wouldn't have crime, and we wouldn't be the number one
exactly. If you were enforcing the laws to begin with, it wouldn't have got to the point it was. So now they're forcing the DAs and the ADAs and all them to stop being so lenient on the criminals as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing: the National Guard has zero arresting authority.
Right.
They haven't been deputized or anything like that. So they have zero arresting authority. They can detain someone, wait for the police to show up, and the police take it from there.
They are a presence in place so that the police can actually go do their job.
Yes.
But are the police doing their job?
Yeah, there was 1,700 arrests in the last month in Washington, D.C. And they've served warrants. They've been getting people off the street.
Cleaning up community, picking up trash, getting rid of old landfill lots. They've been doing everything. handing out candy
Oh,
to
man.
kids.
Spooky.
Hearts and minds, man. Hearts and minds. Come on, you know the drill.
But that's the problem. I know the drill. I know what that drill leads to. And then you end up like Okinawa or some shit.
No.
And look how advanced Japan is now, dude. It worked out in the end.
That's not because of us. That's because they didn't have to worry about a military for so many years.
It was because of us. Fucking, we gave them the brightest sunlight they've ever seen, and
We
because
showed
of
them
that,
they
they
made 2 new
advanced.
suns.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on. Since President Trump's deployment of federal troops and National Guard in August of 2025, Washington, D.C. has seen a significant decrease in crime, with some reports showing violent crime down by almost half, assaults down 19%, burglaries down 48%, homicides down 57% in the weeks following the deployment compared to the same time last year.
Mhm.
So,
Well, they weren't
crime,
implementing a program last year neither. So
that's what I'm trying to say. By him showing people that the mayors are incompetent, your city council's incompetent, your police chief's incompetent, by showing people that you can actually have a safe city, then it's now up to the voters. Remove that mayor, remove that city council, get competent people in there to maintain this. And if this is able to be maintained, then they'll take the National Guard away.
Yeah, but you could do the same thing by taking any one of these cities that are that bad. The mayor could be arrested on the spot.
No,
You don't even have
there's
to scratch the surface to find that there's corruption there that you could easily pull them out with.
Yeah, but that's all hearsay and that's speculation. You've got to have evidence. You've got to have investigations.
due process.
You can't just
You gotta have
say
due process.
you can't just say that a Democrat mayor is
No, but Bowen just said
corrupt.
it. You're skipping that whole process.
Well,
For
they're not
what?
skipping any process right now.
The National Guard is only there as a presence. They're allowing the police to actually go do their job, and by being there and Trump saying the police will cooperate, it's giving them the option now to actually do their job, because before they didn't have the authority to do anything because the mayor and the city council were incompetent.
Yeah, the National Guard's not arresting anybody.
No.
They're just presence. That's it. They're just presence.
And on serving warrants and things like that, they are just there as an assisting agency, but that's it.
Yeah.
So why do they need them to do their job, though?
They weren't doing their job. Crime was disgusting in DC, and it came down to the point where some of Trump's staffers were assaulted and mugged, and that's when he finally said, "This is it."
I don't know. I guess
So
I
it
don't
was
understand why the police weren't policing at the beginning, even with Trump being in office there.
Why aren't the police in Portland policing? Why aren't the police in Seattle policing? Why
In
aren't the
LA?
police in LA policing? It's because they're being told not to, or they don't see it as worth it because these people are on that no cash bail.
Yes. Or the DAs and the ADAs have been too lenient with fucking their crimes and their convictions, saying, "Oh, you know what? Our jails are kind of full. We're going to give you a slap on the wrist. We're going to put you on
they're just
ankle
not
monitor."
prosecuting them. They
Or
just
they're
let
not
them go.
prosecuting.
So the cops feel like it's not worth it for them to do a job. Why during the Biden administration did all those New Yorkers or those New York police officers leave the city of New York and move to Florida to be police officers? Because they couldn't be police officers in the city of New York.
Right, but I mean, I'm just not saying the full cycle. If your prosecuting attorney isn't doing anything, the 1,700 arrests was pretty much worthless then.
No, but they are
it's
now. Is what we're
changed.
saying. They are doing their jobs now because the federal government is forcing them to do their job now.
So they can force them to do it, but they can't force a governor or mayor to do it.
That's what they're doing. They are forcing the governors and mayors to do their jobs.
They're
That was the
forcing them
whole
to
point.
cooperate with the federal government.
Yes.
By sending in National Guard.
Yes.
So threatening them with the National Guard to get them to do something.
Yeah, or else you're just gonna have lawless cities. Because
no, I'm
it's
just making sure I
basically
understand this.
It's basically the ignorance of the administration that's running those cities.
But what's changing? If a National Guard guy walks into his office, right, into your mayor's office in Seattle, what is he saying or doing that's any different than Trump just telling him over an email? You get what I mean? Like, what is happening that's different?
Because it's the physical presence of them
Mhm.
being there. They can't ignore the National Guard. They can ignore a fucking email. They can't ignore the physical human presence. Think of it like ants, man. So you have a bunch of bugs running around and whatever, they're out and about doing whatever. Then you have a fucking pile of fire ants that show up. You can't ignore the pile of fire ants now.
Hey, that's what they've been doing the last 5 years. What do you mean?
But the fire ants weren't there the last 5 years. Now they're there.
It's like us in Iraq. We were a presence patrol, but we couldn't do anything. That's it. We were just a presence patrol, and the Iraqi police took care of everything. It's kind of that same way.
Yeah,
but that's what my point is. We were there doing it, and we know the IPs weren't doing anything.
No, it's different. Different in America, where it all comes down to this. Each police department is led differently, and if you're going to have a police chief and a mayor that aren't going to arrest their people, or they're going to ignore the crime statistics, and they're just going to keep doing what they do, but you've got a presence patrol of National Guard there now saying you're going to do and you're going to follow the law. That's the problem. They stopped following the law. Now with the National Guard there and the federal ADAs, the federal DAs
there.
You've got Jeanine Pirro now as the Washington D.C. District Attorney's Office and federal DA. They are now there pushing the law, and they're prosecuting people, they're charging people, they're doing everything that's needed.
And they're getting
and that's why
they're replacing the people who weren't doing their jobs. They're not just staying there.
That's why Newsom is concerned. He doesn't want Trump to come in there and actually clean up, because then Newsom knows he's done. Same thing in Illinois. Pritzker is the governor, and then the mayor. They don't want Trump to come there, and they keep telling people it's bad. But they're going to use that whole, all the talking points from the Democrats. But they don't want him there just because they're going to lose their job as governor and mayor of Chicago, because the voters are going to vote him out when they realize that all along they could have had a nice, secure, quiet, prosperous city.
And the thing is too, the local populace is now turning. They're no longer accepting, hey, we're not going to turn a blind eye to the crime anymore. They're starting to report it. They're starting to stand up against it. It's like waves, man. Sure, it's going to be a rough start, but eventually, all the tiles are going to fall into place. It just, the ripple effect, starts slow, gets bigger.
I mean, I guess I have to see it to actually think it's going to be useful. And I get it out there, but you're talking about a place out the whole West Coast, there's zero support. DC at least was 50-50 from the start until his whole team came in there and pretty much took over everything. Like, there's nobody out here that's going to be like, fuck yeah, bring them in. Not anybody that matters.
No, and that's part of the challenges, is because not everything, every town, city, state is going to be as successful with this program, if it does go that far, as another. There's going to be more pushback in some areas. There's going to be more acceptance in some areas. And it's up to the people to eventually start to making that change. And that's where the presence comes in, is hopefully they see the National Guard doing good. And, it's like those commercials where you see like one person doing a good deed, then somebody sees it, then they do a good deed, and somebody else sees it, and it just keeps going down the line type of thing. So
I would get it for a big generational gap, man. But you're talking about everybody that's now they seen it good and they watched the crumble. Like, and they're
Sure,
cool with the crumble.
Well, no, not a lot of them are cool with the crumble. They just had to accept it because they fought it and fought it and fought it, but they didn't have any help.
I mean, realistically, unless you really believe in false ballots, that's not true. Because the ballot shows that, yeah, majority wanted it. In those cities that you're seeing this massive crime. Like, I get it. And I totally agree with DC. I love what they did with DC. I'm not arguing that fact. I'm just arguing, like, is it worth the tax money to waste that kind of time? To go into a city where it's going to be nothing but fight back. I mean, look at just ICE, for example. There's fucking news channels and cards being handed out, how to legally tell them to fuck off and shit. Like, it's nothing but pushback.
Well, there's always going to be some type of pushback.
And maybe it's different because you're in places where the people actually care and want to live in a standard.
You're talking about taxpayer money and all that stuff. So let's look at the taxpayer money that goes into rebuilding all these communities that have been burned down and beat up, or the insurance that all these people have to work out with the government, local, private, and federal, just to get stuff back. You know, how much do you think it costs? Because they're going to get some type of federal reimbursement when a target is raided and torn down inside out. How much revenue do you think they've lost just in material? Not to include jobs, employees, and all the employees' jobs, and everything else. The amount of money for paying the National Guard is still minute to compare it to like all these major businesses getting destroyed and burned down.
But that's another thing. We're talking about safety for citizens and taxpayers and the voters and all that other stuff. But look at the businesses. I mean, a lot of these cities and downtowns have just become wasteland of empty buildings and empty storefronts because businesses are tired of the smash and grab. They're tired of the reduced enforcement on crime, petty theft, all that other stuff, burglaries and things like that. And that just gives the residents and those actors the opportunity for that smash and grab and to increase the crime rates when no one cares about it. So if I was a business owner and I had a shop downtown in Washington, D.C. or in downtown Chicago or things like that, where it was a deplorable situation, I would champion the presence of the National Guard, because then people will feel safe going to my shop. I won't have to constantly every day worry about smash and grab. And look, even the mayor of DC says that the federal law enforcement surge is reducing crime. So I agree with it. I think that Washington DC was a good test. I think they should do it in Chicago because look, every fucking weekend we always hear about murders in Chicago, shootings and murders in Chicago. And I think Chicago should be the next point where it's out of control and they should send in the National Guard.
I think either there or Seattle. If they're actually,
we'll probably see it on the West Coast at some point.
I think they need to see start with something smaller. And see how it actually works.
Yeah.
In case anyone wonders, it's 20 to 12 Chargers. Since no one can get it on TV in America. Zach, was that a Pop-Tart you were eating?
No.
No, it looked like a Pop-Tart.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Oh. What flavor?
It was like an organic one. It was kind of ass, but it's like wild berry flavored.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, that was kind of one of the topics we just kind of wanted to have a casual discussion on this week because it's been a hot
just
topic.
Frustrating that you need federal government to tell you how to be an adult. I guess that's what's frustrating.
Well, look how these killed children are raised.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, Hoyt. I do. Like, you're looking.
I'm not fighting what he's doing. I'm not.
No, but at the same time,
I just want to know why a city itself can't manage as fucking adults.
because the only thing they cared about was money and votes.
their
They didn't
policies.
care about the job. They never cared about the job.
It's
That's
because of their policies.
That's the problem with modern politics. Majority of them give two fucks about their job. The only thing they care about is the title, the benefits, and the pay. And they'll do whatever it takes to get the fucking votes so they keep getting that fucking pay.
Right.
And that's all they really want.
As long as a politician is still in office, they'll do whatever they can to stay there. And generally in the cities, it's about government programs, free food, free benefits. That's how it is in the city. So, and it's the policies of those police departments and those prosecuting attorneys and everything else, or DAs or whatever they're called in those cities. It's those policies that cause the crime.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to live in Texas.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Parts of Texas. Texas isn't safe from it though.
Yeah, but it's a lot safer in some of the major cities of Texas than it is outside of Texas.
What about like Houston? What's Houston looking like right now? Pretty
Not good.
Bad.
I mean, Houston has its certain sections of town that obviously that are troubling, but I'll tell you, whenever I traveled and stayed downtown, I never had any issues with crime.
Downtown's nice.
Yeah.
It's just the surrounding area of downtown.
Yeah, you get that south.
Just some spots.
Yeah, you've got that Ward 4 or whatever it is on the southeast side and things like that. It's I mean, it is what it is. But it just I felt a lot safer in Houston than I ever did in Chicago.
Yeah, that's the damn truth.
So
that's the damn truth.
I don't even think Detroit's that bad anymore.
Not to the point, because they've had all that redevelopment in downtown. Thanks to one man. But
Ooh.
Dan Gilbert, the CEO of Rocket Mortgage.
Oh.
I mean, he's with his efforts in the city of Detroit, he's pretty much helped redevelop that entire downtown area. He did a lot in Cleveland too, so he's done a lot up there as well. So it's just like I said, it all comes down to the policies and the actions of the people running those cities.
Yeah,
I guess we'll just find out, and we'll wait and see what happens in the next city, and if Trump actually does get the chance to get him into Chicago or Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, wherever. I guess we'll wait and see.
I mean, time will tell. Time will tell.
Yeah.
So this
unless
week
he can fix the school districts and fix the educational programs that are being pushed.
No, I think that's that's a whole nother animal.
Right.
I don't know where we're going with education. To be honest, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I'm
glad we're learning about dinosaurs.
It's so different in other cities, and it's so different everywhere else in
Jurassic Park.
And who knows what's going to happen now with the wind down of the Department of Education and giving it back to the states? I don't know. Are the states going to be competitive and basically try and win people over coming to each state because of their education? Or is it going to be different?
Well, yeah, that'd be nice. Or at least show them like, hey, people stealing money's not good.
I don't know. What's going on in your world, Zach?
A whole lot, man. Just busy with life and
like in that noggin of yours.
Do what?
Like in that noggin of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Been launching the new car a little too hard.
Nah.
Yeah.
No. No, but I did replace that carrier bearing, and it's much, much better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way safer.
Now the launching starts.
Now the launching starts.
Zoom, zoom.
Yeah, that fucker's fast, man.
Oh yeah.
They got so much low end torque on them.
It's just nice.
So this week, I haven't been watching as many reels and memes as I'd liked, but I do still have a few to show you guys this week.
Let's see them.
If you want to get on with the AI reels, pretty much because they're all fucking AI anymore.
Yep.
Everything's
Oh,
AI.
let me ask you. Okay, so first letter of your first name and the last letter, or in the first letter of your last name. So we've got Stephen Hoy.
SH.
SH. So basically, this one is called What's Your Butt's Name?
God.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Mine's gonna be sexy.
So it's Queen Chomp Box.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
Queen Chomp Box.
Mine is the Magnificent Penis Flytrap.
Hell yeah.
We already knew that though. That's no change.
What's ZG? I can't see it.
Mademoiselle Chomp Box. Or no,
Hell
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Mademoiselle Thunderbush.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Thunderbush? Why does your butt have a Thunderbush though?
That's
You need
right.
to shave that thing, bud.
Jacob's is the Magnificent Jiggly Bits.
Okay, I can see that one.
Magnificent
That's
Jiggly
all right.
Bits. Why does that fit?
It does. It fits
Right?
Jake.
Let's see, Stefan. We've got Queen Glitter Biscuit.
That fits too, you fucking hillbilly.
Who else? We've got
The talented. You got Mitch. The
Mitch,
talented.
the talented penis glove.
The talented penis glove.
Okay.
That's kind of jealous. That's a good one.
What would Dova's be? Love muffin. Something love muffin.
Humberto. So the incredible love muffin.
I mean, that could be endearing, or
That's too PG, you know?
Yeah.
That's not good
Let's
enough.
see. What's Slotix? We've got Lady Penis Glove for Slotix.
Yeah.
Well, with that meat hammer, that makes sense. Shouldn't be attached to a human being.
What's Derek's? Wonderful Angry Beaver.
Again with the hairy buttholes. What's up with that, guys? Y'all need to groom yourselves, man. Come on.
Oh man.
Hey,
That's
I am
dingleberries.
I am just fine with the Magnificent Penis Flytrap.
Magnificent penis fly. Now we all got to get banners.
Right?
Either banners and hang them, or get you a name tag.
A name tag.
Or get the little office placard that has a name on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get one that sits on my desk.
Yeah.
I'm vibing with that.
We'll send you guys to a furry convention with your name tags.
Don't do that. I don't want to go to that. Did you guys see that meme of the furry that tried to integrate with the wolf pack in Colorado?
Yeah, got his ass chewed up.
That wasn't real, right?
No, it was real.
That was real?
Yes.
No way that did really.
Yes, he lived, but he got bit.
His fursuit would be comparable to a real wolf, right? That's
So
like
the
Wise
next one-
pretending he's young.
Right?
Or Bowen acting like he can walk.
Have you guys seen the mess halls and the chow halls in the Navy and on the ships? Have any of you guys seen the?
Yeah, I've seen them.
I've
seen
like
the mess halls on the
clips.
ships. And
I
did you
don't
guys know they have ice cream machines in the Navy?
Yep, it's like McDonald's.
Doubt it.
Sometimes they work.
Hey, is it true there's a
Hold
filtration system to try to keep diesel out of the water on a
Hold
ship?
on. I'm trying to show you a reel here.
A real what?
Well, wait a minute. I had to click on it and
I
share
didn't know
it.
you were into fishing.
So
That's a glizzy cone.
That's the glizzy cone, man. The little salt and sweet.
I just want you to know, if you guys ever did that to me, I would fight you.
I just want you to know I order that when no one's around.
Because that's such a waste.
It's kind of appetizing.
That's such a waste of good ice cream.
no wonder the Marines
That's a
are
waste
always
of a
unable
foot long.
to-
They don't bite it; they lick it.
They lick it.
They like it for the shape, not the taste.
Glizzy cone.
He's a glizzy goblin fool.
So I want to know. We're gonna watch this, and I want to know which toilet you guys would prefer. Okay. We're gonna go through a series of videos on toilets, and I want to know which one you guys would prefer. Let's say it's the last toilet in the world, and you got to make a choice.
You really need to take a dump, but these are the only toilets available. Which one do you choose? Sand toilet.
Sand. Sand's not that bad. Ooh, fuck that.
Particle toilet.
Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that.
Spider silk toilet. Keep watching. The last one is the best one. Barbed wire toilet.
Sand all the way.
Oh, well, the spider web one didn't say that.
Wet hair
spider,
toilet.
it just said
Sure, if it's just the spider silk, I'm okay with it.
honestly, wet hair wouldn't be bad
Well, tree toilet wouldn't be bad either. It's just bark.
until you get a splinter in your ass.
Right?
Ice toilet.
Ooh, the
Oh.
ice toilet would probably be comfy.
You really need to take a dump, but these are the only toilets available. Which one do you choose?
I think I'm going with
Sand
the
toilet.
eyes.
Eyes would be
You going with the
comfiest.
eyes?
I think the
The
eye would
eyes?
be like a bidet. Yeah, I think it'd be good,
Like a what?
like a bidet.
A bidet? I don't know. What if they started popping on you?
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I think it's gonna
Or
hold me
what
up.
if one like? What if one like made its way up your hole?
Oh, like I sat on it on accident.
Easter a
Yeah,
bunch.
They didn't.
Well,
look
now you're
good.
adding factors, but I didn't know I was gonna get graped by this toilet.
I don't know. I mean,
I think I'm gonna go back to the spider silk then.
the spider silk. What if this? But there's spiders in it.
Was there? I didn't see any
Yeah.
spiders.
There
That's
were
what I'm saying. If
spiders.
there were no spiders, I'd be cool with it. But I'm not. What if okay? What if it was just Granddaddy Longlegs? You cool with that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But sand wouldn't be bad. I mean, I could do sand. It's just like
No,
kidding?
it's when you go to wipe that's the problem.
Sand. You
Whatever.
can't get that shit out of anything.
Yeah, it'd be like sand.
I'm not wiping with the sand. I'm just sitting on the sand.
But you can't get near sand and not get it in you.
Right. And what if you blow the toilet out and then it's
If you
gets up in there?
fart, you're gonna blow sand up there.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
See,
And
look
then
at
you're
the
gonna
spiders.
wipe sandpaper. Do you see spiders?
What do you
Oh,
think
I
this
guess
is
there
on
are
the-
spiders.
yeah.
Okay.
Now, would you guys do? Would you guys prefer barbed wire or?
Well, she didn't even bleed from squeezing it.
Well,
I guess I'm going with wet hair then. After really debating this,
ooh, that wet hair, that texture. I don't know.
I think it'll be cushiony. You don't think?
Yeah, but it's
No.
wet.
It's wet.
And it's perfect. You clean it.
Wet hair, you can't get out of anything.
It's like built-in toilet paper.
Okay, what if it was like horsehair?
No.
That could work. Horsehair?
Well, horsehair would be better.
That's what
Wouldn't
I'm
it be
saying.
softer?
It is because horsehair brushes, rags that used to make
Mhm.
clothing out of it.
Isn't
Okay.
his
How about
bristles white
okay?
hair?
So what about if we're on the topic of hair? What about like alpaca hair? Okay, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm, but that wasn't
Soft.
curly or nothing. That was like silk, like soft hair. Look,
Yeah.
that was like long, straight hair. Look, that's like Bigfoot back. What if it's Bigfoot's butt hair?
Bigfoot's butt hair. What if it was a perm?
Ooh.
Nice and soft.
Right.
But what if
right,
it still
see?
had the curls in it though?
That's what I'm saying. You bounce on the perm. You know, it's
Yeah.
a cushion.
No, I meant like the actual like the little pink curls would
Curls?
always. Yeah.
Oh,
You think it's gonna like corkscrew up?
no, you just break them.
You just break them.
So some guy was interviewing these babies, and this is kind of interesting what these babies have to say about their new lives.
I need to go back in. My parents are broke as shit.
You've just arrived. How are you feeling?
Well, I just want to find the guy that's been bonking me on the forehead for the last 9 months. It took my mom 40 weeks to get me here. It took my dad about 13 seconds.
How's your first day experience?
They dropped my pacifier on the floor, then blew on it and gave it back. I swear I'm putting them in the worst nursing home.
What makes you mad, baby?
When grandma in my face saying goo goo gaga, but her breath smells like poo poo caca. Where's the
These are
doctor? I need to go back in. Mommy and Daddy are fighting because I was supposed to come out white.
I was waiting for one of them to just be out of pocket, but there it is.
Okay, and there's one more with the baby talk. So this one is all about park life, as far as like trailer park life,
Oh,
and they seem to hit
this
it.
is
Hell
Graham's
yeah.
alley right here.
They seem to hit the nail on the head with some of these.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, bro.
Red flags to report?
3 different dudes showed up claiming to be my daddy. Mom says we're waiting for Maury to sort it out.
What's been stressing you out lately?
Every time my mom finds my bib under the couch, it smells like Marlboro Reds.
What's the most messed up thing your parents did this week?
They used my stroller to haul beer cans to the recycling center.
How did the family reunion
Oh
go?
yeah.
Found out my mom's ex is also my dad's brother, so my family tree is basically a hula hoop at this point.
What's the worst part about snack time?
They keep handing me bottles smelling like Bush Light.
How's nap time been going?
Every Sunday, it's the Daytona 500 in the living room, and I'm trying to sleep, but Uncle Randy's screaming at Dale Jr.
Yeah, what red flags you noticing about dad?
On disability for his back, but just won the trailer park limbo contest. I know Medicare would love to see that video.
See any red flags with the living situation?
Dad bought a Harley instead of paying rent and says we can live on the bike if we have to.
What's been bothering you this week?
Hell yeah.
The diaper bag's just a plastic grocery sack with duct tape handles.
What's a red flag about dinner at your house?
When the raccoon's cooking. But that's still an upgrade from the possum they made last week.
Why is your dad always checking the window?
He owes child support in 3 counties and the IRS goes by Miguel, but he's pale as mayonnaise.
Any family red flags to report?
He's pale as mayonnaise. That's you, Bowen.
That's not me.
You're pale as mayonnaise. You're glowing right now.
That's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because that's because the light bounces off this.
Don't blame
What
the
do you call
light
this?
for your.
What do you call this shit when you run your ducting through it? A bulkhead. I have this bulkhead right here, and it's painted white. So all
Oh,
that
you're
light reflects down.
translucent. I think I.
I'm not translucent. How white was I when you saw me yesterday, Jason? I wasn't pale white.
No. Not
No, you were a
white.
shade off
You were
white.
Yeah. You were eggshell white.
I would say okay. I'll give you eggshell.
Did that? So did those
Like-
kids
like-
that pull on any heartstrings? Anything that you've seen in the trailer parks?
That's the problem with this country, them damn kids.
I mean,
Them damn
some of
kids.
those were pretty accurate.
Do people still
The,
smoke Marlboro Reds?
The family tree is a hula hoop one. That's pretty. That's West Virginia right there.
That is with West
That's
Virginia.
Boone County.
No, that's
Boone County.
more Alabama. That's more
Boone
Alabama.
County, we keep it in the family.
All right, boys. Well, that's all I have for videos.
I want
this
to see you
week.
finish that can, boy.
This.
I want to see that thing empty and crush it across your head.
It's right here.
It's right here.
You need a nipple?
That was the worst shotgun I've ever seen.
And it's 27 to 18 Chargers.
Never heard of her.
Coming at you from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
In one of them Chargers.
So, anything good for the order? You guys have anything else that you'd like to chit chat about on the show tonight? We're about an hour and 20 minutes in.
No, I think it was pretty good.
Mm-mm.
Go buy Wise's shirts,
You're
motherfuckers.
pretty quiet, Zach.
Yeah.
Well, you're on your phone now too. That's why, aren't you? Yes, what
We can
Yeah.
see your reflection through your glasses, nerd.
Your glasses.
You fucking nerd.
Yeah,
You're a
in
nerd.
case you guys didn't see it, Cross Sabers Coffee launched a new T-shirt today. It is the Dumpster Fire Coffee Club T-shirt.
Oh
Pretty
yeah.
funny.
Pick it up. Along with these badass hats.
Yeah, you can get all those at crosssaberscoffee.com.
Oh, speaking of hats, I think they'll be done tomorrow.
Oh my, that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yep.
We'll try to pick them up next week then.
Yeah, should be. We'll have to get together.
You gonna
sometime.
make it out of there?
What are you talking about?
Empty.
Huh?
Jason's gonna be hungover tomorrow. Fuck.
I know.
From one.
I know from one.
No, I took my hats down for Morgan to sew the Velcro patch on.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, because all the glue was just coming off on them.
Got you a little sweatshop out in West
Yeah.
Virginia now?
Yep.
Way to go, bud. You're moving up.
I know, right? No, but I really appreciate all the help on those because I want to push those at some shows I've got coming up.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
I'm probably going to get a bunch of shirts too, get those in and sell those at the shows too.
But when you do all those crafting conventions, no one crafted you up some legs yet?
Lieutenant Dan, I got new legs.
Look at my new legs. They knitted
You
them.
You should come on the show wearing some crocheted leg warmers.
Yeah, why
Actually,
don't you
I
wear
used-
some?
I used to have some. After I had the first fusion, Morgan made me a cast cover that would cover my the tip of the cast so my toes wouldn't get cold.
Nice.
Because the sock I couldn't get a sock on there, then it was just tearing up my good socks.
I feel like that's you can make a lot of money off that. Customize your cast.
Crochet covers.
Nub covers.
Yeah, nub cover. That's basically
Nub
what it was, to
covers.
cover up
Get
the-
your nub covers
Yeah.
exclusively. We're just
All right,
loaded with
boys.
business ideas.
Well, listen up. You boys have a great weekend. Try to enjoy this wonderful late summer weather that we're having. And we'll talk to you all next week. Hopefully, we have a few more join us next week to
hopefully.
where we can have some more conversations on some things other than politics. I'd really like to talk more on the VA stuff, but I'd like to have more of a crowd for that. But we'll get there.
VA crowd.
No, we'll get there. We'll talk more about some of that stuff.
Okay,
I'll have
we'll
some
make this
ideas.
another hour long.
Yeah, I'll have some ideas next week about some things we can talk about. Maybe even bring in your Python. So
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
show and tell.
Yeah, show and tell.
Show and
Let's
tell.
see that Python. I know it's been snipped, but I'm sure you still got some sort of a Python under there.
It's gonna come at you live action.
All right, boys. You all have a great weekend. Everybody, don't forget, like us, share us, follow us, do whatever you need to do on the interwebs out there. And we're the Cavalry crew signing off for the night. Enjoy your weekend.